On the evening of May 6th, 2026, residents of the Wash Trailer Park off of US 51 run inside as numerous flashes of lightning illuminate the sky with a nearly constant rumble of thunder. The rain and wind begin to pick up as a loud roar begins to take shape. Moments later, everything falls apart for those at the Wash Trailer Park. The morning of May 6th was like many others in South Mississippi, muggy and cloudy. But above the ground, ingredients for severe weather became primed as a belt of fast-moving winds called a jet streak began taking shape over Arkansas and the mid-Mississippi Valley. Along with this, southerly winds at the surface provided jet fuel for storms to fire in the form of heat and humidity from the nearby Gulf. Taking note of the ingredients for severe weather, forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center began issuing outlooks for severe weather, with the bullseye over portions of Mississippi and the Deep South. After first issuing a slight risk, the Storm Prediction Center chose to upgrade to an enhanced risk, noting the increased confidence in ingredients needed for severe weather and tornadoes. Along with this, the Storm Prediction Center issued a 10% hatch tornado risk for tornadoes of EF2 strength or stronger. Throughout the day on May 6th, showers and storms peppered the southern half of Mississippi and the Gulf Coast states. But as the day went on, the storms became stronger and stronger as sunlight heated the ground, weakening an invisible lid on the strength of the storms called a capping inversion, or a layer of warmer, drier air above the ground. By late afternoon, the remnants of the cap began to break down as the storms began towering to tens of thousands of feet above the ground. One storm in particular formed just south of Jasper, Texas. The storm then traversed across the entire state of Louisiana, picking up strength as the storm began to develop a mesocyclone or area of rotation. Approaching the Mississippi River, a wall cloud began to form underneath the storm's mesocyclone, beginning the process of forming one of Mississippi's worst tornadoes since the Rolling Fork tornado of 2023. The tornado first started as a small cone, only causing minor tree damage as it traversed the area just south of the St. Catherine Creek National Wildlife Refuge off of US 61. This is also where the tornado made its first crossing over the Bogue Chitto River. The tornado first became strong as it approached Possum Corner Road, growing to over a mile wide and destroying an entire swath of forest, along with a small building near the intersection of Perrytown Road and Old Highway 61. It's also likely that during this phase, the tornado experienced an inclusion to the north toward the Bogue Chitto River, before making a loop and tracking back towards the southeast, crossing the Bogue Chitto River for a second time. The tornado caused its first entry as it crossed over Mississippi 33 near the communities of Knoxville and Garden City. It's also at this point that the tornado caused its first instance of EF3 damage as it stripped the bark off of trees, reducing the largest branches to only bare stubs. At 7:10 p.m. Central Time, the National Weather Service in Jackson issued a tornado emergency for the storm, anticipating it to maintain a strong to violent tornado all the way to the Interstate 55 corridor.
At 7:09 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was observed near Meadville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. This is a tornado emergency for Butte, Meadville, McCall Creek, Brookhaven, and Bogue Chitto.
The tornado continued causing EF0 and EF1 damage as it crossed US 98 south of Butte, snapping the trunks of numerous trees as it moved over Lake Okesa. It's also likely at this point that the tornado shrunk and grew in size as well as switched directions due to changes in the delicate balance of forces supporting the tornado, particularly the amount of warm moist inflow feeding the tornado, the strength of the storm's rear flanking downdraft, and sub-vortices within the tornado. As the tornado approached West Lincoln, it once again began to strengthen and grow in size. This is also where the only known footage of the tornado was captured by Reed Timmer. Reed's footage revealed a massive, rain-wrapped wedge, destroying trees and picking up large amounts of debris. As the tornado approached I-55, it once again began causing widespread EF2 damage, destroying trees and removing the roofs off of well-constructed residential homes. After this, the tornado reached I-55, taking a full 2 minutes to cross due to its immense size. After crossing the interstate, the tornado inflicted EF3 damage, debarking trees and collapsing the walls of homes before leveling Wash Trailer Park, scattering the debris miles away. The tornado also severely damaged a manufactured home off of Mount Olive Road southeast. Crossing Mississippi 583, the tornado continued inflicting at least EF2 damage, peeling the roofs off of homes and snapping the trunks of trees. Near Reels Lane southeast, the tornado completely destroyed a series of silos and farm outbuildings, lofting the debris tens of thousands of feet into the air. At this point, the tornado gradually began to shrink in size while still inflicting EF2 damage, badly damaging homes and snapping the trunks of trees. As the tornado approached Lower Brookhaven Road, it inflicted its last instance of EF2 damage, removing the roof of a brick home. Sparing the city of Monticello, the tornado dissipated just after crossing Mississippi 27 as it moved into an environment less supportive of strong tornadoes. Despite this, the supercell responsible for producing the Bogue Chitto Tornado would go on to produce 2 more weak and short-lived tornadoes near the communities of Prentice and McGranny. The Bogue Chitto supercell was also not the only one to produce a strong tornado on the day, with a separate supercell located further towards the southeast, producing an EF2 tornado in Purvis. The Purvis tornado touched down just northeast of Mississippi 13 in the community of Baxterville. The tornado then tracked northeast, causing minor EF0 and EF1 damage on its approach to Purvis. The tornado inflicted its first EF2 damage as it moved over Coaltown Road, removing the roof off of a home and badly damaging the Coaltown Baptist Church. Approaching Mississippi 589, the tornado badly damaged a small neighborhood of homes, removing the roofs and toppling a few exterior walls, before severely damaging the Evergreen Lumber Trust building off of Central Industrial Row. As the tornado approached US 11, it gradually began to weaken, eventually lifting after passing over US 11. After the Purvis tornado lifted, the parent supercell would spawn 2 more tornadoes near the towns of Beaumont and Jonathan, bringing the total number of tornadoes in South Mississippi and South Louisiana to 9, when including the Purvis supercell's first weak tornado south of Tylertown, a late-night tornado near the community of Sartonville off of Mississippi 27, and the Deer Park tornado in Louisiana. The most significant tornado of the day was the Brookhaven Bogue Chitto EF3, particularly because of the destruction it caused at the Wash Trailer Park. The preliminary number of injuries so far from the event is 27 with no fatalities. One of the largest factors that saved lives on the day was certainly the advanced lead time from NWS Jackson, issuing a tornado emergency including Brookhaven and Bogue Chitto as early as 7:10 p.m., giving the residents at Wash Trailer Park nearly 46 minutes of lead time between the first issuance of a tornado emergency and impact from the tornado. This is nearly 33 minutes above the average national tornado lead time of 13 minutes. One factor that still may have allowed injuries to occur was the lack of storm shelters in the regions affected by the tornadoes. Based off reports, the Wash Trailer Park did not have a storm shelter, and neither did any of the other manufactured homes that were directly hit. The only storm shelter near the direct vicinity of any of the tornadoes that evening was the Lamar County Community Shelter and Emergency Management Complex on Central Industrial Row in Purvis, constructed to handle winds of up to 250 miles per hour. While no fatalities occurred on the evening of May 6th in Mississippi, the lack of storm shelters, particularly in communities of manufactured homes, has still been a systemic issue in past tornadoes in Mississippi and the Deep South. Right now, there are no widespread state laws beyond the local level requiring mobile home communities in the Deep South to have storm shelters. However, it will be interesting to see how this evolves in the future given our changing climate and the ever shifting boundaries of America's Tornado Alley. With that being said, this concludes today's video on the May 6th tornado outbreak in South Mississippi and the Deep South. Please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next time.